We all know looks can be deceptive, and that doesn't just apply to people. It can apply to cars too. Take this for example. This is Toyota's IQ, and Toyota say it's the smallest four-seater car in the world. Now let's take a closer look at it. Well, as you can see, for the front seat passengers at least, there's plenty of room in here. Clever design means that Toyota have cut away the dashboard, so there's an awful lot of leg room. Okay, you don't get a glove box, but you don't always need that, and it means there's a lot of space between your knees and this dashboard, which means that this seat can come a long way forward, making it easy for the backseat passenger to have plenty of leg and shoulder room. The same applies on the driver's side, although maybe not quite as much. Well, we've looked in the front, now let's look in the back, where the real secret is. If you move this seat forward and the backrest forward, it's quite easy to get into the back, and there's more legroom than anybody could ever anticipate. Rather than call it the IQ, perhaps this should be called the Toyota TARDIS. Well, I'm in the back behind the driver's seat, and obviously there's less room this side than on the passenger side because the driver has to sit closer to the wheel. But even here, there's plenty of room for me. My knees aren't even touching the back of the driver's seat, and as you can see, plenty of headroom over there. And surprisingly, this car's got more elbow room and more shoulder room than most average family hatchbacks. So you're not going to be cramped up in the back, and you're definitely not going to feel claustrophobic. Well, we've established that there's room for 4 people inside, but what about if they're carrying luggage? Let's have a look at the boot space. Well, as you can see, there isn't any, and that's the drawback with this car. You've got a tiny space here that you barely get a shopping bag into, but the only thing you can say is that if you do need to carry luggage, it's very easy just to drop the back seats down and put luggage on there. It's definitely a trade-off. You've either got 2 people in the back and no luggage, or plenty of luggage and no passengers in the back. On this car you don't even need a key, or you do need a key, but you just keep it in your pocket, and when you get into the car you just push the button and away we go. Well, as you can hear, this is a very quiet car, which is surprising really because it's only a 1000cc engine. But if you think that that's going to leave you with lack of power, you'd be wrong. This car's never lacking really. It's a good city car, and it always keeps up with the traffic. And even on the motorway, you'll cruise happily all day at the legal limit, and in some cases over. The good thing about the engine is it's very clean. It means you don't pay any road tax whatsoever, so there's a good saving. Add to that the fact that this car will average around 64 miles to the gallon, and it's pretty light on your pocket by the end of the year. The downside, you could say, is the overall price. It's not that cheap when it comes to small cars. This particular one is £10,600, although you can get them for £1,000 less. But there's a lot of technology packed into this car, and it's good value for money. It's one of those cars that's very deceptive. You get into it wondering what you're going to think, and after a couple of days, you really warm to it. You can nip in and out the traffic. It's ideal for city driving, and it's got the turning circle of a London taxi, so parking's a cinch. There's also the usual gizmos that you get with cars today: ABS, traction control, special equipment on the steering so that if you start to lose the car at any point it'll pull it back. So this is a very safe car. This car first came to the UK in January, and Toyota says it's about to produce 100,000 a year, 80% of which will be sold in Europe, and a fair number in the UK, they hope. Overall, it's expensive, but you get what you pay for, and I think it's a good package. And it could be the future of cars. This type of thing has got to be good news when it comes to parking and particularly the environment.